Chapter 1, what is good? So, tip of the week this week, and the reason I've come up with this tip, now I don't want you to rush away, I want you to hear me explain a lot of the kind of philosophy of what I'm talking about, but the reason I want to, talk about this is because this is one of the biggest errors I see with people training at home. Massive one for me, and I feel like it's what's leading people to like short-term success or changing the program all the time, or finding, so many different systems, and it's just kind of a bit, making things a bit, the training so inconsistent and results not continue. And I've made this really simple, and it's basically let performance dictate training, or just basically, chase performance, but let performance dictate training. And what I mean by that is, if you're doing a training program, if you're not tracking performance, so, take performance as a whole. Performance is a measure if we're improving, right? But particularly when we're at home, we have to have some measure of that. And you need to know that you're improving. Because believe me, when things get tough or whatever, or you're not tracking anything, motivation will die because you don't have anything to see improvement. You didn't lose a pound on the scales. You don't know if your measurement on your waist has gone in. You don't know if you've got better push-ups. You don't know if your anaerobic fitness or your resting heart rate or your max heart rate has gone up or whatever it is. But you've got no measure of improvement. But particularly performance when it comes to training, I'm finding people are just doing, hard hit workouts, hard runs. They're not increasing their performance. And what I mean by let performance dictate your training, it basically means that if your performance isn't going up, then you need to rethink your strategy. Or, it might be that you need to train harder. It might need to be, you need to do more, but you need to make sure that performance is going up. And if performance is stagnant, then something is wrong with your training or how you're executing your training. But the performance is the thing that everybody is missing, and especially seeing that increase. So understand this. You need to get tangible with what's happening. So what I mean is, if nobody is getting the data in this training, and this is what I wanted to explain, you're not taking the data. And what I mean by that is you don't know. I bet I'm asking you now, and if you've got push-ups in your program, how many push-ups did you do last week? And you'd be like, you might say 4 sets of 10 or whatever, but was it 4 sets of 10? Was it exactly that? You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't exactly that, or if it was roughly 4 sets of 10, you know what I mean? Or, I don't know, I did a few sets of push-ups or whatever, that's the problem. It needs to be, what is it exactly, so that you can tangibly track to see improvement. If it was 10, 10, 9, 8, that means this week you can aim for 4 sets of 10 and do that. And when you get 4 sets of 10, you look at last week's result and you're making progress, and it motivates you and it keeps you going. But 6 weeks down the line, when shit gets hard, you need something that you can continuously chase. And chasing your last week is a very good way to do so. But you have to get tangible with it. You have to know the hard facts. You have to know your reps. You have to know your sets. You have to know exactly what distance you ran as a weekly total. These are the things that you need to know. And if you don't, you need to know your average minute mile pace. Like, you need to see something tangibly go up. And I'm not saying wildly, 1 or 2 reps over 4 sets is great. A couple of extra kilos or 1 extra kilo is fantastic if you can keep that up. But like, it has to be small progress. Well, it has to be small anyway, but continuous. And that's what performance will dictate the programming. And also another thing, and this gets into quite detailed programming, and I don't want to bore you here, but performance, when I say let performance dictate training, I say this phrase a bit to clients if they say not getting, their performance is struggling. And I'm like, because I know, obviously being a coach, if they're on the right program, if they're eating the right nutrition, and I'm looking at the whole picture, and then I'm like, you probably just need a week off. Or not a week off, a deload week. They have a deload week, they reduce flight fatigue, they come back bigger and stronger and, faster or whatever it is. But that's another thing. It's let performance dictate training, and it's something that I've kind of sculpted myself. But it really is the important thing. Now I've tried. If your performance is not going up, give it a chance. Don't just after 2 weeks change things. But after 6 weeks, if performance hasn't gone up, something needs to change. Now it's a big worry if you've not been tracking performance the whole time, because how do you know you're truly improving? So. Performance, I'll say it one more time, I don't want to reiterate it, but let performance dictate training is this week's tip. Okay? All right, until next time, keep hanging in there. See you later.